Well, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bowling with the FEF, a platform for you to share your unique bowling story live on our YouTube channel. A lot of people on social media today are saying it is National Wisconsin Day. So I want to say it's no coincidence that I've got a guest from Wisconsin on tonight, but we'll call it National Stone 9 Bowling Day because that's what we're concentrating on. Stone 9 Bowling tonight, a great YouTube channel that we're going to talk a lot about in just a minute. But I want to start with a couple of things here. Earlier today, USBC announced they're going to keep holding events like the Open Championships and Women's National Championships at South Point in Vegas every few years through the year 2039. They made the announcement earlier today. And they will have the OC at the Bowling Plaza. As you may know, if you're familiar with the OC, you know it's there next year. But it'll also be there in 2027, 2030, 2033, 2036, and 2039. The Women's Championships at South Point, it's there this year. And then again in 26, 29, 32, 35, and 38. The agreement also means the USBC convention and annual meeting will be in venues across Las Vegas 4 times between this year and 2039. So a lot of bowling coming up in Vegas. It's got a great history in the sport and a lot of high-level competition there. So stay tuned. You'll see a lot more coming up in the years ahead. Well, the PBA Tour is in Shawnee, Oklahoma right now, and B Squad qualifying going on as we are live at the Shawnee Classic. Zach Tackett was leading the field after the A Squad, about 106 ahead of Dick Allen. That tournament runs through Friday. You can see it on Bowl TV. As far as televised PBA events are concerned, you've got the Collegiate Championships this Sunday and the Go Bowling PBA NASCAR Invitational coming up on March 12th. Sam Cooley, the most recent PBA Tour champion, he won the PBA Springfield Classic, taking down Kevin Williams in the championship this past Saturday. Flush in the Pocket checking in. Derek, good to see you. What's up, buddy? Glad to see you on live with us tonight. He says you can talk to Vegas from Washington, can't you? I'm guessing you're talking Wisconsin, and I hope so. I hope to be able to talk to those folks there because, like I said, great bowling community and a lot of happenings will be going on these next few years in Las Vegas. I did want to mention, for the second consecutive year, I am hoping for a little help in supporting one-to-one youth mentoring in Western Wisconsin. Bowl for Kids' Sake in our area is coming up this May, and I'm on a team called David Bowie. As you can see, the theme is Space Oddity, and it's always great to rock the David Bowie style face paint without having to actually paint my face. To support our cause, head over to my donation page, bit.ly/BFKSFEF2023. It is case sensitive, so be sure and capitalize the B, the F, the K, the S, and the first F in my name, and thanks in advance for your support. Bowling with the FEF is brought to you by Chip Magnet Salsa. Chip Magnet is in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, distributing quality salsa, relish, and a whole lot more to stores in more than 38 states and Canada. Milwaukee is a hotbed of opportunity to get your Chip Magnet fix. You can grab a jar or 10 at Woodman's, Sendik's, Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Metro Market, Outpost, several Piggly Wigglies, and Metcalf's in Wauwatosa. Or you can order right now online at chipmagnetsalsa.com. Chip Magnet Salsa. Raise your snack standards. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to Chip Magnet for supporting Bowling with the FEF. And Derek says you can walk to Vegas. Oh, I can walk to Vegas? Wow. That'd be like a Forrest Gump type endeavor, but I don't know. I might get sore feet after that. I suppose it's possible. I don't know if I want to take that endeavor on, but we'll see. Yeah. And Mark says buy a case. Why not? You can have salsa with the whole family. It's great, sitting around watching the PBA tour and, having chips and salsa with some great chip magnet salsa. All right. So our guests tonight, they review bowling balls. They create vlogs on tournaments. They bowl, and they bowl some more. You can find their channel on YouTube by searching Stone 9 Bowling. They've got a presence on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. You can see the handle right down there. So yeah, let's bring them out here. They are Stone 9 Bowling. You've got Billy Wolf on the left, Chris Rapinski in the middle, and Vance Vetter on the right side with the best looking shirt of the bunch. Guys, welcome to Bowling with the Fef. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet.
We're looking forward to it.
All right. So here's where I want to start, okay? I talked with a gentleman that you know named Tyler Shetter, who was part of the SerbskE club that challenged you guys, and also, I guess, bowls with you guys a little bit here and there. Oh, yeah. He claims that some of you bowl 2 leagues on Thursday at 2 different houses, Village and Pioneer, and he calls that dedication. Show of hands, who does that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
we haven't had it.
We have a north and south team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're not like getting in the car right after the 10th frame of the 3rd game. And
no, not like that. No.
That's what I was envisioning.
No. There's a bit of a rotation, and when there's openings, we flip flop and fill whoever needs bowlers at what house, and we make it happen.
Okay. And for people who aren't familiar, these are both houses on the northwest side of the metro Milwaukee area, so not all that far apart, but still, that would be a lot for one night. Yeah. Why don't we kind of start out by kind of going around the horn here, and if you could give me kind of a Cliff's Notes version of how you got into the sport. We'll start with Billy, move on to Chris, and then Vance, since you're kind of in that order. But kind of give me here's how I started in bowling, and here's why I love to do it type of thing.
Yeah, right on, Fef. So growing up here in Richfield, my cousins owned Pioneer Bowl, and I grew up right across the street from there. So hard to kind of stay away from it. My parents bowled recreationally, and I got into junior leagues there. Saturday mornings, cleaning up the bowling alley, earning our wage just to get down there and bowl with my cousins. From there, getting into high school, obviously still bowling with my cousins, put together some pretty good teams. My aunt decided to create a high school team for us over at Hartford.
Okay.
And from there, it's just kind of been history. Go to college, bowl collegiately, University of Minnesota, UWGB. Come back from that college endeavor, and nobody wants to run the high school team. So here I am. Taking that over, we break away our high school conference. I'm now the president of the entire conference. So now the love of it is really the youth bowling and trying to keep that going. Of course, I come back from college looking for a bowling team, and nobody's got any openings except for this guy's team. So that's how I come into Chris Rapinski's world. But yeah, just continuing that love of the game, trying to get youth involved and keep the sport going.
That's awesome. Yeah. Chris, you said you didn't do too much on the junior side of things, but when did you get started?
Oh, same thing. My parents bowled. Dad bowled men's league, mom bowled, women's league, and they both bowled couples league. And I bowled a little bit of youth. And then, once I got older into high school, other sports became more prominent. So baseball and football, and kind of walked away from it a little bit. And, I didn't get back into it till I was in my 30s after I raised my kids and family, and here we are today, doing bowling ball videos. Who would have thought,
Right. Okay. And Vance, how about you?
So I started off young. One of neighborhood friends bowled, and my parents already bowled, and I didn't really take any interest until neighborhood friend, he bowled. So I was like, hey, I'll try it out. And then started junior league, started off over at Krieger's, then moved over to Village. Just continued to bowl, fell in love with the game, bowled high school, bowled collegiately with MSOE. After done bowling with collegiately, I was bowling with Rich, and then got hooked up with him, bowling state, nationals. I just became part of my DNA. So,
Yeah. Well, that's great. And, having it part of your DNA, I'm assuming makes it easy to get, in with other bowlers and start something like Stone 9. And I'm going to pull this up right here. And, as we kind of get into this, I want to mention that Derek says you have a new subscriber.
Hey,
Awesome.
One by one, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, Derek runs his own channel called Flush in the Pocket. Another great one to subscribe
Yep.
to as well. But tell me about Stone 9 Bowling. How you guys got this, got together to get started up in this, and kind of where the name comes from.
Well, the name, I mean, it's the best. Sorry about the dog.
Oh, that's okay.
It's the best shot a right-hander could throw, really. I mean, that's kind of where we went with that. And how it got started was, searching the internet, looking for, like anybody else would do, looking for the next bowling ball you want to purchase. And it was always a pro or somebody throwing it, 20 miles an hour with 500 revs. And I'm like, well, that's not me. That's not where I fit in. And
You mean you don't have 500 revs?
no, maybe about half of that,
Yeah, me too.
And let's be honest, the real problem started with us buying every bowling ball that ever came out.
Okay.
And then we're like, well, why don't we just start videotaping these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of answers the question of why ball reviews, but let's kind of talk about the process. I mean, it's different for everybody. And for people who don't create content on YouTube and other platforms like that, let me be the first to tell you that this doesn't just happen. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it, idea generation and gathering the gear and all that stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of work. Certainly a marathon, not a sprint. But how about for you guys? Is there like a formula that you follow, or is every video a little different?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ultimate goal is to give multiple looks, give multiple bowlers, but we haven't got to that point yet because it would cost a fortune. And, if any of the manufacturers are out there listening, we'll take them and we'll throw them.
Yeah.
But I'd like to give, the stroker, the tweener, the cranker, give all three looks. And we got our in-house left-hander, Chris Miller, and to give you all the looks. So everybody can fit into, if I want to buy that bowling ball, you can go to the channel and there's going to be something there for you to see or match up with how you throw it.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal, but we haven't quite got there yet. We're working on it. It's a work in progress, that's for sure, as well as and
Oh yeah.
and I don't know. It's
tough. It's tough to really know like what everybody wants to see, but I mean,
Yeah.
Chris has done a phenomenal job with it. Where I kind of laugh. He's really the mastermind behind it. But whenever he gets like, "Hey, what do you think about this or this?" that's when he relies on us and asks us questions, and really becomes a team effort. And
Sure.
I think we're doing a pretty good job with it. It's just what do people really want to see, and we're trying to get it all out there for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody wants to see. It's tough. It's a tough gig, and we've tried the voiceovers and to give our opinion on what we're seeing, and it really didn't make that much of a difference as far as views and goes. So I think ultimately people just want to find the right matchup to how they bowl.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can give them that, then we're going to
we
be
did our job.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're looking to do.
That's where we're ultimately heading. and and
Sure.
I mean, just the three of us here are three different styles of bowlers, but to expect these guys to buy, the ball that every time it comes out, it just financially isn't feasible. So eventually we'll get there. That's our goal with the
Yeah.
channel.
Okay.
So
Yeah, selectively choose like what you think is going to be a big hit that's going to get released. So
right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how we've been approaching it now. And shout out to Rich Miller's Pro Shop, because he hooks us up and
I'm
gets
looking
us.
at my sleeve here. I've
Yep,
got it on
there
one.
you go.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, this side, yeah. he makes sure we get the equipment drilled the best he can for us, and however we need it, he takes care of us.
Yeah.
And Bill Muntz, for that matter. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting you brought that up, because I asked Rich, if he drills all your stuff, and it's kind of out of order of what I was talking about, but yeah,
Sorry.
he said he drills for like what, one or two of you, and Vance drills his own.
Yep.
Okay,
Rich drills myself and Billy, and Vance drills his own. Yeah.
there we go.
I used to work for Rich, or I still do. I help
It
out in the
takes him a
shop.
long time to drill it.
Oh, great. So I learned from Rich how to drill bowling balls. So I only drill my own, so I
Okay.
take the longest on doing my own. So
Ah.
that's why I don't touch any customers' bowling balls.
Okay. Yeah, and I've heard from people who have, learned how to drill that first time, dealing with a customer and trying to get it just right can be a little nerve-wracking.
It definitely can. Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess up.
I think Rich has got it figured out though, because whenever he drills my stuff, he just gets really angry, and then he has it done in about 5 seconds. But it's always right on the money.
Yeah, and I'm a tool and die maker by trade, and I got enough on my plate with the YouTube. I don't need to learn how to drill bowling balls on top of that.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm the talent, I'm the videographer, I'm the editor. I wear all the hats.
You're the jack of all trades, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn it by
Sure.
I didn't know. I had no idea how to edit, or how any of these cameras work or anything like that. It was all self-taught.
Okay.
So figured it out.
So tell me a little about that, because we all kind of have our own journey, right? You accumulate gear over time.
Yeah.
You think you're buying the right stuff. You think
Yeah.
you've got it licked as far as focusing up, white balancing, steady shot, all that stuff. But everybody makes mistakes, and I've always heard that if your first video is, you look back on it and say, geez, what was I doing? Things are going good.
Yeah. I periodically I look back at some of those early videos, and I'm like, holy cow, what were we thinking there? And some of I think we've gotten tremendously better, but I mean, opinions may vary, but I think we've gotten better over the years, and I think we got it figured out right now. And
Yeah.
we're going to
for
kind
sure.
of stick to the format that we're doing with. And like I said, we like to give you a couple different looks, and the same on the same ball, same bowler, different looks. And that's kind of the direction we're heading in.
Sure. And then there's the different ball staff element. I asked Rich about that. He said only Billy is on staff. He said Chris is on, I guess, like a video staff with Storm, and Vance throws everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when we first started this, Chris and I were buying all the same bowling balls, and we're like, what are we doing? We're buying all these bowling balls. Let's start buying different bowling balls, and let's film these things, buy some cameras, and give it a shot. Well, shortly after that, I jumped on the motive staff, thanks to Rich, through the pro shop, and ever since then, obviously, I've been buying every single motive release to come out, which then opened the door, bring somebody else on like Vance, and start purchasing these other equipment that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing I asked him is, why are your videos better? there's a lot of ball reviewers out there, right? Everybody does it a little differently. Even if the, like I mentioned, the formula, even if the formula is the same, you inject your own personality in it. He told me that he thinks your videos are better because they come from the heart. They are very truthful when throwing the balls. They're not hiding shots or shots being pulled or missed out or anything like that. And I would think, especially, Billy, being on staff, I would think the urge is just to say, oh my gosh, motive stuff is great. You can't go wrong, purchasing a tank, a Venom Shock, and, Primal Rage, all three. How do you get to that point where you've got, someone like Rich saying, these guys are telling you, they're shooting straight with this?
Yeah, I think over a couple beers we talked about it, like, and just progressing the channel into something better is what do people want to watch us go throw 20 strikes in a row, or do they want to know that we're still human and hey, like, this ball is so good, even if you miss here, it's still gonna strike, or if you miss here this bad, it's not gonna strike. And also just back when we were doing the voiceovers, discuss like, hey, don't be afraid of surface changes, or this ball would fit perfect into this person's hand, because every ball might be amazing, but it might not be the perfect fit for XYZ bowler.
Yeah.
So that's always been part of something that we've been getting better at, I suppose.
Absolutely. Surface change and drilling layouts is huge. I mean, makes a big difference. There's been a lot of bowling balls that we pulled out of the box and drilled them, and we're hesitant on even shooting a video because I'm like, man, this ball, I can't get this ball through the pins. And you just, hit it with surface, change the surface a little bit, and it's like a brand new piece, and sometimes it end up being your favorite,
Right. How good a bowler do you need to be to review bowling balls in a way that gives viewers value? I mean, you guys are at the point now with more than 1,000 subscribers where I think it's fair to say you're giving people a good bit of value. I can't imagine that, a beginner can do this and give a more experienced player value. So you got to have some skill, but how much skill do you have to have?
Well, that a skill is a term that's not really related to strikes, right? As far as bowling scores go. So being a coach, like, spares are important, strikes will come. So to be skilled, I suppose, can we throw a strike? Sure. Do we average high? Yes, we do, but we're also not missing spares. So, if we're just out throwing our strikes, we're probably only 185 average bowlers if we don't pick up a spare.
Correct.
So in reality, it's just a general understanding of the game and being able to roll the ball.
Right. And we're all 220 plus average bowlers, but you got to make your spares to get to 220, right?
Sure.
That's the key. And we bowl on a lot of different things. We don't always bowl on a house shot, and we've filmed on different patterns also, just to give that, just not to give it the ball hooks across the whole lane look,
Yeah.
We bowled on some tougher patterns, beating path and stuff, that's to give our viewers different looks on if they're bowling tournaments.
Yeah.
Just to see what that kind of stuff how it would roll.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good point too, because I was going to ask you about the houses, Village and Pioneer.
Two different animals.
Yeah. Why these particular houses? Are they good about putting out those different types of shots for you? Are there other reasons?
Different surfaces, different conditioners. It's all the traditional clouds that might overcome you at any other bowling alley that you're going to go to, go to state or any other place. It's not going to play the same as the house that you always bowl at. So,
right.
All the factors come into play, weather, etc.
And we have a great relationship with both places.
Yep. So it's hard to pick one. It's good.
So we kind of do it at both. Yeah.
They definitely both present well. I've never been to Pioneer, but I'll tell you, Village I can't say enough about, just because I've got the history there, and it's a really clean place. So
Pete Repel and Jeff Sonneman, and even Dan Shute, and they treat us well there, and same to be said at Pioneer with Ricky and
Little Ricky.
Yeah. They take care of us,
So So, we talked about the skill, we talked about the venue, some of the partnerships you have. But what about, the dynamic with you three? Why does this work with you three? How are you able to coexist? Why do you mesh so well? And in the end, why are you three so good at getting the videos pumped out the way you are?
I would say it's the perfect mix of polar opposites, kind of.
Absolutely. I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
We all have
We're all different.
our minds are each wired differently, and we all bring a different view to what we're trying to create. And we definitely bounce ideas off each other's minds. But, the main thing that brings us together is just the love of bowling, and then also the community that we've created. Like we've talked about, Rich is kind of the ringleader. So Rich kind of
He's the captain.
He kind of brought us all together, and
Yeah.
everybody gets together and jokes.
He keeps
around.
us all in line. Keeps us going in the right direction. That's for sure.
We make sure we don't bring our feelings when we go in to talk to Rich, and we all have a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have fun, right?
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
For sure.
And
So,
there's no short of having fun with our group. That's for sure.
Even though that we may look like we're not taking it seriously, we do take it seriously, but we just got to keep that nice, relaxed feel,
even keel.
Yeah.
So,
And there's more to the group than just the three of us that are sitting here also. So
yeah,
I want to say Chris Miller, he's our in-house left-hander. He's done a ton of videos. He's a storm staffer. He actually works at his
Uncles.
His uncle is Rich, and he drills balls, and he works at the pro shop also. And I want to shout out to Chris because he's done a lot of videos with us, and unfortunately he's injured right now, so that's why we had to pull in the USBC gold certified coach Bill Muntz to do some of the videos lately here. So Chris will be on a little bit of hiatus till he heals up a little bit. So
okay. All right.
But yeah.
How often would you say you upload something new to the channel?
Oh man, I would love to do it once a week, but it's tough. We all work full time and
balance in life, and
it's tough.
Coaching. So we have our goal out there, but the winter time with bowling too, it's hard to find the time outside of bowling to then go film this bowling ball on top of life in general. So
it's also a little bit dependent upon the manufacturers when they do new releases.
Yes, that too.
And so
there's other things that we need. We've been talking about doing some more, some different type of videos, more some challenge videos amongst the inner group of us, and we'd like to challenge the SerbskE club and do a video like team on team. Maybe we can record that and
bring
see who's the best team. Yeah,
wow.
Maybe bring Fefman as the guest bowler, and you can flip a coin to see whose team you bowl on.
That would be awesome, but I got to know who is Tyler bowling on?
Oh, that's going to be tough. I don't know.
You don't want him. He misses spares.
Yeah.
He misses spares, and he dents the masking unit stanchion posts.
Wow.
That's another story.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't miss any spares when I was down there, but he also wasn't in the lineups.
He's been on a heater lately, that's for sure. He's been bowling really good,
Yeah, no doubt. You talked about kind of leaving your feelings at the door, and it seems like Rich is along those lines because he says that Billy, he calls you a little Amish boy because you're short and have a beard and look like an Amish boy. I told him I thought your beard game was like 100 times what mine is. So
I'm jealous.
I totally was gonna shave it off already, but then as soon as this came up, I'm like, I gotta keep it for a few more weeks. So your photo's been obviously shared around Facebook, and everybody thinks it's me that we just made this logo. I'm like, no, that's Fef.
See, and now I'm stuck with it. I can't shave it off because it's in the logo.
Yeah, right.
So, and then Tyler also mentioned that you can fit in a women's small for a jacket.
Yeah, that's true.
So tell me about that.
That's true. It actually felt kind of nice.
That was a couple Fridays ago, wasn't it?
It just wasn't cold enough outside for me to wear it, so I took it off right away.
Okay. It wasn't a tight fit or anything. I mean,
no, it fit really nice. It had, kind of when somebody gives you a hug, that's what it felt like. I felt at home in that jacket.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Rich had also mentioned Chris, he says that you're kind of a perfectionist. He said, you're a machinist by trade, so you want everything perfect or as close to it as possible. Tell me about that. How come?
Yeah. Well, just because of the work I do, I can't be wrong. We're measuring by the tenths, and that's how I do everything in life, and
Tense.
that's,
Don't get lower than
yeah,
that.
well, we do, but sometimes it hurts me, sometimes it's good, I don't know, but I think it leans more on the good side. It especially in this case, we're gonna no matter what, we're gonna give you a good product, and that's what our end goal is.
Sure. And it sounds like on the creator side that helps too, because Tyler said that you invested into a heat press to make your own merch.
Yep.
He said he thinks it's just tees, hoodies, and towels right now. He said that you do have the koozies too. I'm holding that upside down.
Yeah.
He said, funny how SerbskE started that first.
They did. That was, they turned me on to that, and it was a great idea because everybody has a drink in their hand, at bowling.
yeah.
So yeah,
For sure.
yeah. So the T-shirt, I just locked down the Stone 9 Bowling domain. I purchased the web, so we're going to start a website and
Oh wow.
start an online store and offer some T-shirts. We got some pretty good sayings to go on the back of them, and hopefully we sell some to help us fund this roller coaster ride. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Vance, Mark Ignatowski told me that they usually bowl on your state squad. And he said that you do a fair amount of vlogging during events, and there are a few guys that he enjoys watching more than you. He says that you're incredibly talented. And he suggested that I ask you about your 300 at nationals.
Yeah. So that happened at Reno. I forgot what year. I didn't have a really good look to start the whole entire team series, but I have to thank Rich Miller for moving me. Start off with a couple crossovers, and then it was just one of those moments that you just got caught up, and it just kept striking and striking, and then next thing you know, I shoot 300. It was a pretty proud a moment in my bowling career. Not too many people can say that they've shot a 300 out at nationals.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Our team actually, I think we shot 1,200 that game. Like everyone just went off that game. So
okay,
it was a fun time to be a part of. So
don't forget to thank Rich.
I already thanked Rich.
Thank him one more time. Though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. And Rich said, like you said, he told you what ball to throw, where to throw it, and when you got interviewed, you failed to mention any of it. So he says you joke about that now.
Yeah. So the person that interviewed me I did thank my teammates and Rich. She only took so much from that and excluded Rich. So I'm sorry. Sorry, Rich.
So somewhere on the cutting room floor in Arlington, Texas.
Floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting room floor out in Reno right now.
Yeah. Rich also mentioned Bill on your videos, said that he's absolutely a great guy, the most knowledgeable guy he knows when it comes to coaching and drilling. And as you mentioned, Chris, he's a gold certified coach. What does he bring to the videos besides just somebody with a wealth of knowledge there?
Oh man, I would like to open up some other doors with Bill as far as coaching videos, putting videos together as far as coaching goes, and just starting from level 1 up, beginning up to the advanced levels, just showing guys how to hook a bowling ball. And he would be a great asset to the channel if we could make that happen. But Bill the best bowling mind you'll ever talk to,
Yep.
by far.
Just
By far.
just a endless amount of knowledge, and it's super awesome to pick his brain. You could
Absolutely.
pick his brain about anything, and he'll put together an answer for it or an explanation, and make it make sense for you.
Yep.
And honestly, like even when we're just out, I'll even tell my parents about Bill Muntz. They don't care; they haven't bowled in years, but still tell them about how incredible it is to be around a guy like that.
And he's made us all better for just knowing him, and being able to pick his brain on certain things. And we've all become better bowlers between Bill and Rich, and absolutely. He's a great asset to the channel. I'm glad we got to make that happen, and hopefully he sticks around with us, and we can grow. We can all grow together.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Eventually we're all going to benefit from this as long as we put the work in and grow it together. And hopefully the channel will take us to nationals all together and fund that whole situation. And that's the goal,
Sure. I mentioned SerbskE's club had challenged you before, and it seems like that you guys both had a role in an event last year called Bowling with the Chumps.
Yep.
Yeah. So Josh Albrecht from 97.3 The Game, he is the producer now, I think, for the Steve Zabin show. And he contacted me about doing a bowling charity event that he had going on. And he wanted some actual good bowlers. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity for the Stone 9 crew to get together. And a little help with the SerbskE's Ashley knowing Josh, we got paired together and turned out to be a really great event. I think we raised $7,000 for.
Yeah, it was a good turnout.
Packers fullback John Kuhn, former fullback John Kuhn was there.
Yep.
It was a great time and event. And we're going to be back there again on March 4th. He's doing it again. So be on the lookout for another vlog for that.
Yeah, we vlogged the last one. It's on the channel. You can go watch it, but we'll be doing it again soon. Yeah. Cool. It was a good time.
Yeah. And speaking of the channel, you guys are on the verge of 4 years here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
What does that mean to have all that kind of in the rearview mirror? I mean, mine isn't quite 3 years old. So, you got to tell me you're kind of, you're forging forward a little faster than I am. So, what's it like to have 4 years of content in the can?
For one, it's where did the time go? It feels like it was just yesterday, and we're sitting here talking about we should really get this thing going. And when you just said 4 years, that's crazy to hear.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no looking back now, right? I mean, we've gone too far ahead. The only way we can go is is get it, build it bigger and move forward, and that's the goal. And 4 years, it went by super fast, and I don't know. I couldn't have done it with these guys and Rich and Lucas and Chris and everybody that's been involved. I couldn't have done it without them, and Bill for that matter too now. And yeah, it's a great group of guys. I wouldn't have chosen a better group of guys to do it with. That's for sure.
Sure. So these days, how often do you guys bowl? You've mentioned leagues, you've mentioned some tournaments that you do. Obviously you got to bowl every time you make a video. So is there a way to quantify it? I mean, how many games in a given week?
Man, it'd probably be easier to ask us when we're not bowling.
Yeah. Just about.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now in the tournament season.
Tournament season's coming up now. We got
me personally coaching the high school team, so that's Monday, Tuesday involved with bowling, and then bowling Tuesday night, bowling Thursday night, bowling Friday night, and then tournaments on the weekend. So it's my life, but I guess I'm a single guy and I can just do that for now. But that kind of lifestyle really isn't sustainable, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you're only young once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this week, I mean, we got Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got Milwaukee City tournament this weekend too.
Coach Monday, Tuesday, so it's just nonstop.
Yeah. It's a lot of bowling.
Do the kids watch the videos?
They do. They eventually figure it out because it'll be like the mom finds us sharing it on Facebook or something, and then it gets their way. And then at practice, I'll just get like a shot, like, "Okay, I watched you throw your bowling ball." But they're fun. I mainly coach the girls, so the girls are. I'm a lumber sales rep, so lumber windows doors. I deal with testosterone, high test testosterone all day long.
Yeah.
So it's cool to go coach the girls and get that total opposite end of the spectrum. And it's real good break for me. And like I said, it's cool with the youth bowlers.
Sure. You're in the tournament season now, and we kind of, make your way toward the end of the bowling season. But the way Tyler tells me, he says you're big golfers too. So you get, to April,
We are,
and then through August, it's golf. I mean,
it is.
That's a lot too.
It's nonstop.
It's not. There's a little bit of overlap too, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
We have just as much golf equipment as we do bowling equipment too.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Derek wanted to know why Stone 8 and not Stone 9. Is it because, or I'm sorry, Stone 9 and not Stone 8? Was Stone 8 taken? And he says shout out to Randy Peterson, who is of course infamous for the Stone 8.
Yep. I don't know if it was taken. It may have been, but we figured
do something
different. And I think the Stone 8 is more prominent for a left-hander though.
Yeah.
Really.
I think so too.
We chose the Stone 9 because other than Chris Miller, but most of us are right-handers, and you know what as well. You just posted that video, or that picture.
Amazing.
When everybody's around us when we're bowling, and they leave a Stone 9. You're like, really, guys?
Yeah.
We bring the presents. They just show up. I think.
Yeah.
The common joke when we're bowling with each other and we're wearing our Jersey Alley jerseys.
Shout out to Jersey Alley, by the way. We're a brand ambassador for Jersey Alley. They make great jerseys. They're located right here in southeastern Wisconsin, right downtown, right by the airport. Actually, great jerseys,
fully customizable.
Yep. Check out their website, jerseyalley.com.
But the joke is when you leave a Stone 9, look down at your shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then all right, I gotta ask if you've got a story about this commenter, because he's a past guest on our show, and that's Bruce Torbeck, who says good job, and he calls it an easy spare.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. I just had let's just call it a late night conversation with Bruce Torbeck maybe last Thursday night, and I did tell him I was going to give him a shout out when we were on, because I loved it I love talking to Bruce. I love picking his brain. He's a great guy. He's his history of Milwaukee bowling, and I was a kid when he was bowling. I thought, oh man, everybody wanted to throw it like Bruce,
Yeah.
840 with a yellow dot.
Yes, and Bruce is a great guy. He's a great ambassador of the game to have in our area, and we all love Bruce.
Sure. What about your future in the sport? I mean, you talked about kind of the goals for the channel, but where do you go from here? How long do you keep this up? How long do you keep the bowling up? How long do you keep the channel up?
Well, that's why I keep these young, good-looking guys around. So eventually, I can be behind the camera, and I don't have to throw. You don't have to see me struggle throwing a bowling ball anymore. We're gonna keep it going as long as we have help, and we can keep it together.
We're kind of spoiled with Village and Pioneer allowing us to do the stuff, so we're gonna take advantage of it and keep it going as long as we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to build it. We want to catch. Our Luke Rosenthal's, and we want to get up there with those guys, and I mean, and they do a great job also. But it's everybody. I just wanted to take a different path than what those guys are doing, and eventually our goal is, like I said, to give everybody a look at something different, and eventually, like for all of us to be able to throw the same bowling ball. But I'd like to challenge different bowling manufacturers, different bowling balls against each other do, and nobody's doing that,
Yeah.
is maybe the high road isn't the best bowling ball. Could it be the Venom? Could Venom Shock? Nobody's doing those comparisons because everybody is so either staffed and they're so one-sided, one manufacturer. I'd like to get them all. I'd like to throw them all. I'd like to compare them all to each other, and let the viewers decide.
Yeah.
What the best ball is. That's our goal.
Okay, fair enough. You've seen the show before, and you know that we go off the sheet by asking you to challenge somebody else in the bowling community. It doesn't necessarily have to be the greatest bowler in the world, although it certainly could, but somebody who's passionate about the sport and has a unique story to tell to be on a future episode of Bowling with the Fef. So, guys, I'll give you the floor. Who would you like to challenge to be on a future episode of Bowling with the Fef?
Take it away, Chris.
Well, we talked about that before you came on, and we're unanimously gonna chose Bill Muntz.
Okay. All right. Well, Bill,
we will make it happen no matter if he tells you no.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Even if we gotta hold him up.
Yeah, we'll bring him here and let him sit here and do it.
Those are my favorite kind of off the sheet challenges because
we're just force him into it. Yeah,
right. Because I don't know Bill, although I'd love to talk bowling with him.
He's got great stories, man. Great stories.
He's got some very hilarious stories that he could tell. We joke around in the shop that Bill's corner, and he'll go tell a story.
He'll go on his tangent, and it's hilarious the entire time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he'll just go right back to drilling up a bowling ball.
Sure.
But nothing happened.
But his background with bowling, he's with the coaching, he worked for Ebonite. I think he was on tour for a while with a ball rep on tour for a while. So he's got tons of stories. It'd be a great show. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly game for it. Bill, if you see this before they get to you, you can always email me at bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com.
He already knows. He's already been Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he'll drag Rich on there with him too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're both in the pro shop together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would work great.
Yeah.
Bruce says, dude, read, execute, knock them down. That's the name of the game.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let me tell you about our next show because that's coming up on Monday, February 20th. You probably know of our next guest because they call him Mr. 300. His name is Bob Learn Jr. He is a 5-time PBA Tour champion. I believe USBC Hall of Famer, and also has been a college coach for a while. He is going to talk about his incredible story and also about how he's helping train the USBC certified coaches of tomorrow. And we won't be able to get through that without his story of the 1996 Erie tournament, where he set the 4-game TV record for total pinfall. So again, Monday, February 20th, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Bowling with the Fef. Bruce says, how nice it is to see you guys, man. Take care. And I will second that. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. I just want to say we're recording this on the behind the scenes, and we're going to post a video up on our channel too of how it looks. And let's get the Fef to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
we're gonna get you there.
All right, that's great. And I didn't put up my obnoxious graphics, so I'm glad you reminded me.
There you go. We're gonna get you there.
Right there in the corner. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out as I'm trying to make content just like the Stone 9 guys. And
don't forget to subscribe to us also.
Yeah, please do.
It's a big community.
You can find them on YouTube under Stone 9 Bowling, and on Facebook as well. They've also got an Instagram page, Stone_9_bowling, and great merch too.
Yeah, look out for the merch; it's coming. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, is it available now or in the future?
We're still in R&D. Let's call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But soon, we're working on it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the Bowling with the Fef Facebook group is just that. It's a group. So when you end up with the merchandise spot, share it with us. Let us know,
absolutely.
you know,
I
so
absolutely will.
we can help you out. And yeah, certainly subscribe to their channel too. The content is great. I mean, even Bruce is all for that.
Oh yeah. We'll hook Bruce up with a shirt.
There you go. All right. Well, like I said, a total pleasure having you guys on. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank all of you for watching live and on replay. We surely appreciate it. Be just and fear not. And we'll see you again next time.